I smiled the entire drive. After 12 straight days on base, every kilometer between the military installation and my house felt lighter. My husband, Ryan, had texted just before I left. "Don't be late tonight. Mom has a surprise waiting for you." His mother wasn't known for surprises. She preferred schedules, opinions, and reminding everyone how she believed things should be done. The message felt strangely hopeful. My daughter, Lily, slept in her car seat behind me, one tiny sock slipping halfway off her foot. She had just turned one. Every few minutes, I glanced into the rearview mirror, smiling at the peaceful expression on her face. For the first time in weeks, I believed I was driving towards something good. The front yard was crowded with unfamiliar cars. I assumed it was an early birthday celebration for someone I'd forgotten. Then I stepped inside. The living room was full of relatives. No music, no food, no laughter. Conversation stopped the moment I crossed the doorway. Ryan stood beside the dining table. His mother sat upright in her favorite chair, with her hands folded neatly across her lap, as though she were presiding over a meeting instead of welcoming family. I shifted Lily higher onto my shoulder. "What happened?" Ryan didn't answer immediately. He reached for a folder lying on the table and slid several papers toward me. "I think you know." I looked down, DNA test report, before I could process what I was reading. He said the words that seemed impossible to hear. "She's not my child." The room stayed silent. His mother pointed toward the front door. "You need to leave this house." "Not our house, this house," someone coughed. Another relative stared at the floor. Nobody asked me whether the report was real. Nobody asked whether there could be another explanation. The verdict had already been delivered before I arrived. I looked at Ryan. "You actually believe this?" He folded his arms. "The evidence speaks for itself." I wanted to shout. Instead, military training settled over me before emotion could. When panic rises, slow down. Observe. I picked up the report again. The laboratory logo looked familiar. Not because we'd ever used it, because I'd seen official forensic paperwork before. Something wasn't right. There was no verified identification chain, no witness documentation, no confirmation of who submitted the samples, only names typed into blank spaces. I looked back at Ryan. "When was this done?" "It doesn't matter. It matters if you're accusing me." His mother interrupted. "We don't owe you explanations." I nodded once. "You're right." They looked surprised. "I'll leave." I carried Lily back to the car without another word. Behind me, I heard whispers. I imagined they thought silence meant guilt. Instead, silence was buying me time. The next morning, I visited the legal assistance office available to military personnel. The attorney read every page carefully. Then she looked up. "Who supervised the collection of these DNA samples?" "I don't know. Did you consent?" "No." She tapped the report. This document would raise serious questions in court. For the first time since walking into that living room, I breathed normally. She recommended a civilian family lawyer as well. Within days, formal proceedings began. Ryan seemed confident. His family remained convinced the matter was settled. They expected me to disappear quietly. Instead, the court ordered an independently supervised DNA test through an accredited laboratory. Everyone would follow documented procedures. Everyone would be identified. Every sample would be witnessed. No shortcuts, no family assumptions, no private arrangements. Waiting for the results was strangely peaceful. Truth didn't become stronger because someone believed it. It simply remained true until verified. 3 weeks later, we were all in a courtroom. Ryan avoided looking at me. His mother sat rigidly beside him. The judge reviewed the certified report, then looked toward Ryan. "The court recognized testing establishes that you are the biological father." Nobody spoke. The silence felt completely different from the one in my living room. This silence belonged to facts. Ryan's lawyer requested a brief recess. The judge declined. My attorney then introduced another piece of evidence: the original report, along with testimony from the laboratory whose name appeared on it. The representative explained that while their branding had been copied, the document presented by Ryan had never been issued through their accredited testing process. It wasn't merely unreliable, it had no authenticated record of existing. The judge's expression hardened. What began as a family dispute now raises additional legal concerns regarding falsified evidence. Authority had finally entered the story, not loudly, not dramatically, simply, unmistakably. Afterward, relatives who had watched me being thrown out could barely meet my eyes. Several offered awkward apologies. I accepted none of them immediately. Forgiveness isn't something owed because embarrassment arrives. Ryan tried calling for weeks. His messages changed from certainty to confusion, then regret. I answered only once. "I believed what I was shown," he said quietly. "I know, I want to fix this." I looked at Lily stacking wooden blocks across my apartment floor. "You didn't ask me a single question that night." He said nothing. You invited an audience before you invited a conversation. The call ended without anger. Just clarity. The divorce took months. Custody arrangements were established professionally. Life became smaller than before. But it also became calmer. Sometimes people ask whether the hardest part was being accused. It wasn't. The hardest part was discovering how quickly trust can disappear when certainty becomes more attractive than truth. I still wear the uniform. I still believe evidence matters more than assumptions. And every evening, when Lily runs toward the front door to greet me with the same bright smile she had before any of this happened, I'm reminded that dignity isn't restored by humiliating the people who doubted you. Sometimes it's restored by walking away from the room where they stopped listening and letting the truth arrive on its own.